Hello and welcome to WTF Stories and Advice. I'm Louisa.
And I'm Caroline Cranshaw. And you're you're Louisa Delden.
Yes.
Louisa DD.
I don't know about that in that department.
In name. Hey,
yeah,
give it
in
time.
name. And you were very tired. You had a hypnotherapy school over the weekend.
I did. I was teaching counseling, psychotherapy, and coaching this weekend. Yeah, it's amazing. I love it. And it's so interesting. And when I teach it, I like to make it very experiential. So they basically get a year's worth of psychotherapy in a weekend. So it's pretty full on, but it's amazing.
Big days.
It's big days. And I wrote the manual for it. So this manual, I wrote 106 pages, A4 size. So like proper document size pages for this manual in a month.
Oh, wowza.
Yeah.
How do you actually do, like, what do you teach them? Do you stand up there like a lecture? Or
Yeah, so teach it. I have a massive screen and a professional projector. I teach it with my friend Daryl, who is a hypnotherapy teacher as well. But we just teach everything. Teach the history of counseling and where it comes from, because it's really fascinating.
Does that mean the people who do the course will come out with something?
Yeah, well, they're training how to be counselors and psychotherapy and kind of the latest coaching techniques.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because, I mean, it's a hypnotherapy course, right? That goes over a year period. But you can't just have someone come in your office and go, sleep.
Yeah.
You know, you have to counsel them. You have to coach them. You have to identify why they have the issues they do so you can educate them about that. You can't just hypnotize people out of it. That's just a small part. So, yeah, it's fascinating. I love it, but this is the first time I have taught this weekend, and I spent the month writing it. I'm on edge.
You
A
pooped.
breakdown. Yeah.
You are pooped. Well, I've had a very different day to you because I saw a penis in studio this morning.
Wow. Well, I've seen a penis this morning too.
I'm sure you have. No, we had a
But
light.
I see one every day walking around my bedroom, so yeah, that's not big news for me.
I didn't. Okay, let me rephrase that. We had a life model come into this radio station that I work on today, so that the on-air host could draw the nude man.
Nice.
And so he had.
Why didn't you invite me? I would have been great at that.
You'd have been like, "Can I change my radio slot to Monday?" And his name was Enrique.
Of course it was.
And he was there in his dressing gown, and then he took off the dressing gown, and there it was in all its glory. And he just stood there, and it was so funny. Sam, who I work with, he's one of the on-air hosts, got so into it. Like, he had this big canvas, was shading it, like looking at it up and down.
He'd be a good artist too.
He's quite a good drawer.
Is he?
If you go on my Instagram, Louisa DD, you'll see a photo of Sam's drawing.
Penis.
You'll see.
Was it big or was it normal?
The P.
Yeah. The D have some.
It just seemed normal. I don't know.
Just normal. Yeah.
Your standard.
Was he a
D.
shower or a grower?
Sam seems to think he had a wee play around before he came in the studio. I was like, whatever, Sam, you're just jealous. And then it turns out he's a personal trainer as well.
Oh.
So he's talented in many fields.
Wow.
But he was not
just showing his
embarrassed.
dick.
He was not embarrassed at all. And Laura couldn't even look at it. She was like, "Oh my God."
Really? How was her drawing of the penis?
She just drew a stick figure.
Oh no.
And
She didn't get into
Enrique told her to not look it in the eyes.
Its eyes are.
I don't know, but
Might
yeah.
wink at her.
So that was from 6:15 till 7:15 this morning. What a way to start your Monday. A bit of life drawing, a bit of D.
Yeah. Bit of D. Well, I was going to say in your V, but no.
No, that did not happen in studio.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, that's
good to know you saw some D as well. I'm happy for you.
Hey, it's nothing unusual around my house. It's pretty much on
Display.
show at any time because, yeah, my partner just loves to walk around naked. Not with, he doesn't walk around naked in front of the children, thank God.
You'd hope not.
Yeah, but around the bedroom, kids know to knock. I'll tell you that. And I'm just like, okay, put it. Reminds me of that Jerry Seinfeld show. I don't know if you ever saw. There's one episode where the woman is always walking around naked. Jerry starts dating this new woman. She's always naked. And he's like, I thought I would like this, but it's getting a bit old now. And so then he starts doing it naked all the time. And he's literally like sanding a floor naked. He's using power tools. And she's just like, oh, Jesus Christ, put it away. Yeah. And he was like, what? You do it. She's like, that is not the same. I'm sorry. I'm a woman. You can look at a naked woman all day long. No one wants to see a naked man all day long. Obviously, my partner doesn't walk around all day long, but it's quite funny. When someone's like, oh my God, I saw a penis. I'm like, hello. Yeah. Big deal.
I see it every day.
Several times. Anyways, yeah.
It's enough D chat for now.
No more D's, at least for the next, minute. So this last weekend when I was telling stories and we're talking about psychotherapy, I remembered this story. And I think we all have defining moments in our lives that kind of stand out and make us who we are. And one of the exercises I had people do is we do what is called a timeline. But in order to do the timeline, you have to figure out the major kind of life events that are defining for you. So, your parents getting divorced or first heartbreak, or you do all your relationships. And it's really fascinating to see patterns. But I remembered this as I was kind of walking through people through the exercise. I didn't tell the story at the time. I should have, actually, because it would have been quite funny. But I can remember I was around 5 years old. My parents were divorced, and my father was the manager of an apartment building. So he'd go around and ask for the rent. I went with him. I used to stay with him like every weekend. And so we go along and we get to this one door, and it was this guy who was like a gang member. And he was what they call a Hell's Angel, rode Harleys. And he opens the door and he's like, fuck off. And he slams the door. And my dad knocks on the door again. And he opens it and he's like, I told you I don't have the fucking rent. Go away. And my dad, who is about 5'8" and a slight build, rips open his shirt, like rips the buttons on his shirt, and he's like, fuck you, motherfucker. And he literally like went red, and his tongue is like going out of his mouth, and he's like, you give me my fucking money. And I'm like, oh, I remember just being like, oh my, like
It sounds like something from a movie.
And the guy's like, dude, your daughter's there. What the hell's wrong with you? And he's like, I will fucking cut you. You give me my money now. I will turn the gas on in your thing. And the guy was like, okay, hang on. And he ran and he got the money and he handed it to my dad. And he's like, dude, you really need to calm down. That's your kid there, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like sitting there watching this. But my dad had never been violent with me, was the nicest dad, right? So it was kind of watching like another person. Shuts the door. And I'm like, Dad, what was that? And he's like, honey, remember this always. Crazy always wins. And I was like, crazy always wins. Remember being 5? Crazy always wins.
And that's why you are crazy as fuck now.
Yeah. And it was. I don't think that was probably the best way to handle that situation. And I've never talked to my dad about it. So I could be exaggerating that story, but I swear to God, it's exactly how I remember it. I'll have to bring it up with him and be like, Dad, remember that time when you went insane? When you wanted that guy was so nice to my dad after that.
Yeah.
And
crazy
was always like, how are you, little girl? Are you okay? Like, I think he was probably worried that I was having like the shit beaten out of me. And I would be like, fuck you. Like, I was a shit of a kid. And yeah, but it was in that memory and in that event has actually helped me in life because I'm like 5'2", barely 5'2". I'm not a big person. I'm blonde. I'm blue-eyed. I think a lot of people look at me and think, oh, whatever. And then if they fuck me off, I will. I'm not anymore, really.
You take them down.
I used to act nuts or say crazy shit, and people would back the fuck off very quickly, and I would get my way. Yeah, I used it mostly in my teens and 20s. I've chilled out now. But yeah, crazy always wins.
I don't feel like I'm crazy enough.
No.
Well, like I'm crazy in a different way.
What are you talking about? You are crazy too.
I am crazy, but not in a... Like, I don't know if I could...
Not in a violent way?
That's a lie. A few times I've been in like the mosh pit at R&B and been like, fuck off. Get out of here. Elbowed someone.
I think you're crazy too.
Maybe not elbowed someone, but like,
no.
You know, a little shoulder barge. Out of the way.
Yeah, I'm not a violent person. I'm not a mean drunk, but I can be I just like to freak people out to be crazy. I haven't done it for a very long time, but it really did. It kept me safe in a lot of situations. Let's just say that, where things probably would have gotten a lot worse if I hadn't acted like I was fucking nuts. So, yeah, just remember that.
I would not like to see you go nuts.
I'd just hypnotize you after so you wouldn't remember. So it'd be fine. Don't worry.
Did you watch The Bachelor Australia?
Tiny bits, but I just wanted to cut his hair, so I had to stop.
Oh, see, I love the honey badger. I just think he made the whole thing so unique.
Yeah.
Like, when do you ever find a bachelor with so much personality and uniqueness as him? Like, he did.
Well, it's better to have that than some cookie cutter guy with a carrot up his bum.
Yeah,
really,
exactly.
so.
Who's exactly the same as every other bachelor.
Yeah.
And did you know apparently 60% more guys watched this season?
Ah,
yeah, because everyone's
it's
obsessed
a real
with
guy.
Rugby. Yeah. But one thing I will say is, so being the bachelor, you go on the bachelor because you are ready to find love. You have come into this TV series because you want to find love and you want to commit to someone.
Yeah.
Got down to the bottom.
Get famous.
Yeah, he's already, he's already pretty famous. So he gets down to the bottom two.
Have you said who he is?
Nick Cummins. So he's a famous rugby player in Australia, like big name. And in New Zealand, he's a massive name as well. And everyone calls him the Honey Badger.
Why do they call him the Honey Badger?
Good question.
Because the Honey Badger don't give a fuck.
There we go.
Have you seen that clip? Where they oh, I have to send it to you. Look up the Honey Badger doesn't give a fuck or doesn't give a shit. It is the funniest thing in the entire world. Okay. That'll be where it's from. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
And so it's down to him and the two girls, the last two, Sophie and Brittany. It gets to the last ceremony where he either picks either one of these girls and he picks no one. So he doesn't pick either of these girls.
Maybe he likes dick.
Well, no, that's definitely not it. He's gone into it and said to the producers, "I'm just not ready. I'm not ready. I'm in, I'm not, my head's clouded. Sorry, don't go on The Bachelor where you're looking for love and be the Bachelor if you're not ready to commit to a relationship."
He wasn't ready to commit to those girls.
So you think if someone swooped in there the next day at the gym and he fell in love, he'd be fine?
Absolutely. All about connection. He just wasn't that into them. Simple as that. Seen that a million times where it's like, this guy won't commit, he won't commit. I've got friends who are with guys for 5-6 years, never get a ring on the finger, break up with them. The guy marries someone within 6 months.
Literally.
That's happened to you?
Well, I'm the other person.
You were married in 6 months?
No, I was not married. No. But I mean, someone was getting with someone and then they wouldn't go out, like wouldn't make it official. And then I started seeing someone and they made it official.
Yeah, it's all about whether you're connected. So you can't, I guess he was being honest. Should he have just gone, oh yeah, because they did that in The Bachelor New Zealand, where the guy picked the girl and then within 24 hours he said, nah, made a mistake. And she said at the time, the girl that was interviewed said, I wish he hadn't even have picked me because this has made me feel even worse.
Yes, I do see that point of view because I remember that in the New Zealand Bachelor that it was literally within 3 weeks that they were nothing. And it was
the next day.
It was clear that they were never anything.
Yeah.
But I just think from watching it, he clearly had connections with a few of the girls. Like it's not like the New Zealand one, like the Australian one and the American one are so much more detailed. You spend so much more time. And he definitely had connections with these girls. And I think it's more the fact that I'm pretty sure in the Australian one, they're meant to propose as well. Yeah,
well, they're meant to propose with all of them, aren't they?
Not the New Zealand one. I think that's just like a relationship.
Did, though, I think. Nah. They gave her a promise ring.
Yeah, it's like a relationship. But this one I'm pretty sure is like you propose, which I suppose for any guy, that would scare anyone, wouldn't it?
Well, if you don't want to marry them. Yeah,
but also,
this is the thing about these
one
shows.
Girl and 28 girls. Surely there has to be a connection with one girl out of 28. Come on, Honey Badger.
How many guys have I dated and how many do I actually have a connection with?
I'd hope 1 out of 28.
No. Hell no.
Out of 28 men. You're
Well, it would
lying.
depend on the 28. I went on, before I met my partner, for the 6 years I was single, I went on over 200 dates with different men.
Fuck off.
I swear to God.
It is out the
I
gate.
was basically...
You would have been living off these dates, living off free meals.
It was great. It was great. I was really thin for some reason, too.
How does that happen when you're out wining and dining?
I don't know. I think I just didn't really eat dinner unless someone was buying it for me. Yeah. I don't know. I think connection, you can't fake it. You can't force it. It's either there or it's not. And I think the biggest problem the biggest problem that people kind of come across a lot of times with love, and I know for myself, is they talk themselves into it and they go, it'll be okay and it'll be fine and I'm sure it'll work out and blah, blah, blah. And then 6 months later, they want to pull a hyena and they want to chew their own arm off to get away from this person rather than wake them up. You know, it's just, I don't know.
I don't know. I just think out of 28 of the girls, there's got to be something else. You can't say you're not ready.
He likes the D.
No,
in his A.
I reckon it's one of the girls who went home.
Could be. Still has. Yeah. Wasn't there some?
There's a rumor going around
where one of the women was a complete bitch. Because normally on these shows, you know who they like right away. Within like the first 2 shows, the first few dates, you're like, instant. Yeah, that's her. He likes her.
Instant. And the other thing with these shows is, oh my God, girls can be so cruel.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, some of the girls on this series were horrific. It was like 3 of them. The stuff they'd be saying behind the other girls' backs, or even to their faces, it was disgusting. I'm just like, how... like we should be lifting each other up and like empowering each other, and these girls were just like tearing all the other girls down and just trying to plot in Nick's head all these things about that. Like, it was just horrible. Going on a show like that seriously would be, as much as everyone's like, why would you do that? I never would, but it would be so hard.
Oh, I've had them as clients. I've worked with at least 3 girls that have been on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
That are traumatized from it. They don't want to go out on dates anymore. They don't trust other women. They had like post-traumatic stress. And what they all told me was the producers are the ones spinning all the drama. They'll go, oh my God, so-and-so said this about you and said, no. And we'll say all this horrible stuff that supposedly some other girl says. They put the camera on them. What do you say to that? And they're like, oh, well, that bitch needs to go. And then they go and show that to the other girl who supposedly said this. And what do you think? And she
and then they cut out what the producers said. So
so they are creating drama, because who wants to watch a show where all the girls get along and everyone's so sweet and there's no drama?
Apparently they also only feed them like cheese and pasta, so they all get fat. And they're not allowed to leave, so they can't exercise.
Oh, you get bloated. That'd be horrible.
I know. The one show I would go on would be Love Island. Never, ever start a series of that, because they're like 55 episodes in a series and you won't leave the house.
Oh, my daughters watched
You'll be
that.
addicted.
Yeah, they were addicted.
But I am addicted. I like follow them all on Instagram and it's just too much.
Are you watching Married at First Sight?
No, I should be watching
You
that.
should be watching that. That's on tonight. It's good.
I'll watch
Very
that after
good.
this.
And again, I think that's just wrong. I don't know.
Married at First Sight that's like, come on. Who wants to meet someone at the altar? I instantly would judge and be like, nope.
And you can see it on their faces. Like, some of them are like, yay. And then the other ones are like, oh, no.
I did actually see a short for one of the episodes when the groom goes, yes, when a girl walks in and it's the bridesmaid.
I know. Yeah, I've seen that one. That one's terrible. Oh, yeah.
Married at First Sight, that's got to be one of the worst.
I should have been an expert on that show.
You should.
Yeah.
Next season.
I actually did an audition, but I didn't get picked.
I don't know how you didn't get picked, because that is right up your alley.
Well, basically what I did was I did a video of myself, and then I applied like I was applying as a contestant. And so they came back to me and said, so wait, are you married? Or do you want to get married, or are you trying to be an expert on the show? And I said, trying to be an expert on the show. And they just didn't reply.
Sad times.
They didn't
You'd
like
be
me.
great on that show.
I would. But anyways, oh well. Any questions for me, Louisa? Any questions for a friend?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, let me think. You know what I've had a lot lately is a lot of people with no sex drive. So what's your advice around that?
Like clients coming to you.
Yeah.
Saying that they don't have any sex drive. With their partner or like just in general?
Just in general, but normally with a partner. So one of the techniques I taught this weekend is called the problem and the solution technique. So, okay, we'll do a little role play. So can you pretend to be a client for me?
Okay.
So this is what I did on the weekend. Tell me the problem.
My problem is that I do not have a sex drive with my current partner.
Thank you. Now, what's the solution?
Being more horny with my partner.
Thank you. So what's the problem?
No sex drive with the partner.
Anything else about that?
No.
So what's the solution?
Sex.
Thank you. So what's the problem?
No sex drive with partner. I feel
Anything
like I'm
else?
slow. No.
No. Nothing else about that? Okay. Yeah. I mean, this is harder for you because I'm getting you to role play. But just imagine you had the answer. So what's the solution?
More sex.
And what would help you to have more sex?
Be a horn dog.
And what would help you be a horn dog?
D.
No. What else? 'Cause sex is mental. What's in the way of having a high sex drive?
I don't know.
Sorry, I'm totally putting you on the spot. It's a really interesting technique that you can do with people because you go, what's the problem? They say, oh, the problem is this. Like, for example, this weekend we did it and the guy said, the problem is I don't go to bed early enough and I have insomnia. And it's like, okay, what's the solution? The solution is I need to go to bed earlier. Okay, so what's the problem? Oh, well, I stay up too late. I watch TV. I wait for my eyes to go to bed or wait for my eyes to get tired before I go to bed. Okay, so what's the solution? I need to stop watching TV at night. Okay, what's the problem? It's like, oh, the problem is I stay up watching TV. So what's the solution? I need to take the TV out of my bedroom. And it was really interesting how it changed.
So
it's a good technique to try that on yourself. What's the problem? What's the solution? Do it over and over, and it will evolve. So for a low sex drive, it's like, what's the problem? The problem isn't not that you want to have sex. There's something else getting in the way. The problem is conflict. The problem is resentment. The problem maybe is low hormones. The problem is the guy doesn't give you enough foreplay. And so why be bothered? Because you don't even have an orgasm anyways. The problem is the guy has sexual issues, and so you have spent a half an hour trying to get them to have a fucking hard dick. There's a million reasons why people have these problems. There's always a solution as well. Maybe the solution is start fucking somebody else. Like, this is totally hypothetical.
Whoa.
Maybe the problem is you're not with the right person. Maybe the problem is you expect you should have sex more than you actually should. Like, I get people that complain about they don't get enough sex and they're having sex 5 times a week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not actually a problem.
I suppose everyone has different sex drives. Amounts that's right for them.
There's always a high desire partner and there's always a low desire partner in every relationship. And the low desire partner is the partner that controls the sex. But then the high desire partner will control other things. They'll control money, or they'll control who does what, or they'll find it's all about control. But I find a lot of times, I was discussing this with a friend who's also a therapist today, and we were talking about how testosterone is huge for women. That is one of our main causes of sex drive. And so for a lot of women, our testosterone is too low. So I was thinking, how
do you get that up?
You can do it through several supplements. I'm going to do a bit more research on this, actually. What I find, maybe we'll talk about it. We'll think about it, and we'll talk about it on the next podcast. And I'll give you advice on how.
Should we take the supplements and see what happens? We'll do an experiment.
We'll see if we have higher sex drives. That's a good idea. Yeah. So just some food for thought. But yeah, if you have a problem, I would just keep asking yourself that. What's the problem? No, what's the solution? What's the problem? And it's an interesting thing to do on a friend because it does change. And people will think about it and they may get stuck, but it does evolve and it does give you your own answers. So on that happy note, what's the problem? No, I'm just kidding. You're like, no.
I'm like, get out. I'm sick of being a guinea pig.
So, thank you for listening.
Yes, that is us done for another week.
Hopefully we haven't depressed you too badly with what we talked about.
We'll be back.
What I talked about.
Yeah, that was very depressing. We'll be back next week with sex drive supplements.
And if you like our podcast, send it to a friend so they can hear it too. Or give us a like so that, or, a 5-star review so that other people, it'll rank higher and other people will see it. Or send us a story.
Yeah, we love when you send us stories.
Send us stories and ideas for us to talk about at WTF stories and advice
at gmail.com.
At Gmail. WTF stories and advice. There's a link in
the podcast.
Yeah, the podcast. Absolutely. Okay. Bye.
Thank you for listening. I'm Caroline.
And I'm Louisa. I don't know. I can't even imitate you. Sorry. All right. Bye.